No matter the season, the theme, the trend, flowers are always in style at a wedding.
Peter Sewell is the owner of Durocher Florist in West Springfield, and he's here to show us some popular wedding floral trends. Peter, so nice to have you here.
Thanks for joining me.
We get your flowers here all the time, but now we have you, which is even better.
I was going to say, a big thank you, because I know, and all our guests, all they ever do is comment when they sit down on the couch. They say, these flowers are incredible.
That's good to hear.
Especially the 4th of July ones. Those were great.
Amazing, yes. So now you're here to talk about wedding flowers. Now, obviously, you never go to a wedding that doesn't have flowers. There always are flowers at a wedding.
Big part of the wedding, big part of the theme of the wedding. It makes it nice.
So what I'm intrigued about, because for me, I don't know much about flowers, I don't know much about floral arrangements, and my wife dealt with the flowers for our wedding. But what's that relationship like when someone goes into a florist and they don't know what they want? How do you work with couples to give them their dream wedding flowers?
Well, it's nice to have a few ideas from magazines, the internet. Kind of know what you want and what look you want. Not necessarily the specific flowers or colors, but just the look. And our consultant will meet with you, listen to your wants and needs, and take it from there.
Do you appreciate when people bring in visual? Does it help you as a designer to know really what they're envisioning?
It helps narrow it down a little bit. Sometimes brides come in with so many ideas that it's tough to kind of hit the moving target, so to speak, but ideas are always good.
And it's important that you, at Durocher, you really, really listen to the bride or whoever it may be. That's
right. I can't imagine a bride walking into a reception and seeing centerpieces or her bouquets even that are nothing like what she had in mind. Listening is important, and our consultant Heather does a great job at that.
And how far in advance should you order your flowers, do you suggest, Peter?
If it's a very popular date, September, October has become very, very popular months. A year in advance to reserve the date is not unusual. It's appreciated. But as far as actually getting down to business, when you pick out the colors for your bridesmaids' dresses, come in with some ideas, bring a swatch, and that's a good time.
It's a good idea.
Yep.
Now let's go over some of these arrangements you have here, because they're gorgeous, but they're all so varied. And this one I love because it's not only pretty, but it smells great.
Yeah, this is kind of a summery arrangement made in a mason jar. There's a few herbs in here which have become very popular. The peppermint, which
what I
you
was
can
just
smell.
smelling was the peppermint.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tremendous.
And some dill. It's nice too because a lot of times the family will have a gardener in the family, or even the dad or the mom. And that's something that if you have a wedding later in the season, the fall wedding, you can actually plant some of this, and we'll incorporate it into your arrangements.
So you can bring some flowers or pieces in too.
Sure, yeah.
And now oftentimes
That's
too,
nice.
with things, I know we're talking about the mason jar and with this lantern, people can bring things to you and you can utilize them in the arrangement.
Sure, we encourage that. This lantern arrangement, which is kind of a fall theme, we're always working ahead on the season, so we're featuring some fall colors. But a bride can bring in something that she's seen on vacation, different family heirlooms. This is just made in a floral ring, and the lantern can go in there. The candle being lit is a nice idea, especially for an evening wedding. Bring a little light to the table. And we encourage people to bring in props or containers, something that's special to them.
And this is actually a flameless candle too, so you can incorporate the lantern, the look of the light with
It's an LED, which is safe. We've had certain props and things brought in that aren't really good to use on a commercial level. We like to kind of review things a little bit if we can, but LEDs are a good way to go.
But that's why it's so nice to have people that you know and that you can trust and that are local, because you can go back to Durocher's 6-10 times and keep shooting ideas back and forth, and it's all about that creative process to create something special.
Yep.
Now let's talk about this in the burlap sack.
It's so cute.
I love it.
That's a basic vase that Heather wrapped in some burlap, and if you lift up the burlap, Ashley, you can see that she's tied it with some twine underneath the
Oh, I see what you're saying. There it is. Oh, that's really nice.
Rustic country looking, nice for a casual wedding, a tent wedding maybe that someone might have in the yard.
Yeah.
Kind of a nice look, and we can add moss, a lot of different things just to create different textures, different looks.
So there's the table arrangements, there's kind of everything, but there's also the corsages, and there's the, now what's the technical term for these, what you walk down the aisle with? Oh, it's a bouquet?
Yep.
Probably should have known that.
Is that right?
The technical term is a bouquet. This is
That's why I
there's a cooler word.
I had very little to do with my wedding. I don't know many of these things.
And that's a good thing.
Exactly. I'm not supposed to.
Just stand there.
As long as
This is actually a hand-tie bouquet. Heather made this with some roses and some Gerber daisies. It has a wrap on the handle, which a lot of times that color swatch is important because the wrap on the bridesmaids' bouquets will match the dresses with the ribbon wrap.
Oh, that's so pretty. Yeah. It's a beautiful bouquet. Now, when it comes to thinking about who needs to have flowers, like in your wedding party and the people that need flowers, there's a lot to think about, and you have a really good suggestion for actually the boutonniere.
Yeah, obviously the bridal party, the bridesmaids, the groomsmen. A lot of times if it's a church wedding, you'll want anyone that does a reading to have something, a boutonniere or corsage. You try not to forget, the aunts and uncles and grandparents. And it's not a bad idea to order an extra boutonniere. Maybe just a simple white rose boutonniere labeled extra that you can have there just in case you've omitted an uncle that might do a reading.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly,
yes,
exactly.
And there's a lot to think about. You don't do it intentionally, but to have that extra could really be a lifesaver.
It's not a bad idea.
Now, Peter, lastly, if people are interested in your services, how can they get in touch with you, and where are you located?
We're in West Springfield on Union Street. Internet, durocherflorist.com. And you could always pick up the phone.
That's true. Always give you a call, too. Well, Peter, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. And if anyone wants to see what kind of work you do, all they have to do is watch Mass Appeal, and they see it right on your couch.
Every week.
Beautiful.
Right on our couch.
Thank you very much, Peter. And to see all the beautiful flowers Durocher Florist has, you can visit them online at durocherflorist.com.